Hi traders, and welcome to another commodity report video. We'll cover the usual natural gas, oil, copper, gold, silver, and uranium. So let's start. All right, natural gas, this is the CFD chart, spot chart. In my last video, I thought 5 waves were in. I thought this was 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And then they corrected up, but then they came down again and broke that low. So instead of what I thought was going to be an impulse, they came down in a diagonal. So this is 1, this is 2, and then this is just 1, 2, 3 for 3, 4, 1, 2, and it looks like 5 could be in. It's still not. This last wave didn't end exactly like I wanted, but either way, I wouldn't be shorting down here if you're not already in. I the fifth wave could be in. So what I'm expecting now is a correction up, but just a little one, and then more down. As I stated in my last video, there's the possibility that this is a three, and then 5, and this is just 1, but this just came down too much now because with this, the target would actually be like under $1 if this is creating a really massive ending diagonal. I don't see natural gas going under $1. It's got issues, but I don't think it's that bad. So I think this was 1 and this is 2, and then this is going to be just the first part of the third wave. Give a correction, come back down, break that low that they set. On this chart, it's 2023. Break it one more, and that'll be the third wave, and then you're going to get a fourth, and then back down for 5. So I want to watch the reaction from down here. How big is this correction? Because if it gets really big, then this could be 1, but I really, that is not my base case at all. So also interesting on this chart anyway, we finally broke that April low. So back in April, set the low at 2061. And I was always saying that we had to come back and break that. Well, we broke it this week. So now this line is irrelevant, so we could take that off the chart. But, we've only got 3 waves, and I need to see 5 waves. So still expecting correction up and then still more down. But I do want to watch how big of a correction this is, because if it gets really big, then this could be changing what I think is going to happen here. So expecting a little push up and down. And then if we look at the futures contract, pretty much just the exact same thing. I do have 5 waves on here. I think it'll be just, push up, maybe into the 2-3, maybe 2-4 range, back down. But again, I want to see how big of a correction that upward movement is. I think it should be just a shallow and then one more down to finish the third wave. All right, let's move on to oil. All right, so oil I had wrong. I thought there was going to be one more wave up. I got to drill down here. I thought there was going to be one more wave up for a 5th wave. And for me, this all looked like it was A, B, and then they were going to make this 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go back up for a 5 for the C wave. What ended up happening is I got tricked up on this one wave here. There's this one wave. Got to drill in a little bit here. I thought this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is an impulse. So that's why I've always had this labeled as B, because I thought this was ABC, A, and then B, and then this was C for the B wave. But given the price action today, because this should have been 4. That's what I was expecting. 3 waves down for 4, and then it should have been going back up. So it really broke. It just made a little correction and then dropped again today. So what ends up happening here on this chart, they're telling me that this movement right here, that was just a 3-wave move. And so this 3-wave move, that was actually, well, we can remove that line. That line doesn't matter. This was 1. The B was actually this 3-wave move down. The 2 is over here. Move that trend line. The 3 was here. The 4 was there. And then this up here, that ended the 5th wave for the C wave. Move that up there. So now we've got an ABC. And the only question is, from that September high, that 5-wave move down, is this all the correction, A, B, C? I think so. I was always expecting them just to come into this range, and they just took their time getting into this range. So I think that's going to be, it's just going to be a shallow correction and then come and break 67. Now, I do already see 5 waves, so I wouldn't be shorting it from here. Now, there is a possibility that this turns into a really big correction. So this ABC, that could just be like the A wave. And then they come down, correct, come down, don't break that low. That'll be the B, and then they could still go up for the C wave, and then eventually come down. Eventually they're going to come down. It's just a matter of, is this the start? Sure, certainly looks like it. So I would only be shorting after they give you a correction here. Oops. Come on. Some type of 3-wave correction, shallow or deep, it doesn't matter, but you got to be selling from somewhere higher than it is right now. This is just getting a little oversold here, and I do see actually I only see 3 actually. So I think what they're going to do is they're going to correct and still one more down, but it's not going to be worth a whole lot, because I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think, well, unless they're making a diagonal, but I think they'll correct up and one more down, and that'll be the 5th wave, and then you get a correction. So I think it's just going to be kind of choppy in this little range here. Probably, correct up, into the 73s, and then come back down one more time and break that low that they set today. Break that 71, 76 low. So I'd wait for a bigger correction up if you're going to short oil and write it down to 67. So yeah, I just wait, because I think it could go up, come back down, and it's just not worth playing either one of those. Let the bigger correction up happen. So I'd only be looking for buy setups actually. That's the bigger play, I think, going up. All right, let's move on to the metals. Start with copper. All right, finally got a 5-wave move here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now they've come right into a perfect buy zone here. So I'd only be looking for buy setups on copper. And I think the target is above this high, 397. Now, I don't think this correction is done. This is a very steep correction. And it looks like it's all just one wave, and it looks like they're not even quite done. They might push it down a little bit farther, but I think this is all just going to be the A wave, get some type of B wave, and then one more down. So I'd only be looking for buy setups, but you might, if you want to play for the real big move, you might want to just let this correction play out. I think this is just the first part of the correction down, and then you got to wait and see what type of correction upward there is. But there's, I would imagine that there'll still be one more wave down before they then take it off. So I think it'll be kind of choppy for the next, who knows, at least several days, if not all next week. Just maybe finishing this off, kind of bumpy right up, one more move down, and then I'd be looking for buys. So let the correction play out, then you can look for the buys. Moving on to gold. All right, gold is really going nowhere. So far, all I have is I got a three-wave move down. And as I've been saying, I don't know if that's all the correction. I could see them coming down and breaking that 1972 level one more time, but the way they're coming down, if they do break it, they're going to break it by a lot because it's just a series of three-wave moves. So there's an ABC. So that could be A, and then this was B, and then this could be the start A, B, C, is how I see it. And now you've got a three-wave move up, but now they're starting to come back down. So it looks to me like they could be making a diagonal, like this could be A, and that was B, and now we need a five-wave move for the C, and that could just be one, and then that was two, and now they're going to come down for 3, 4, and 5. So you might be able to get gold real low here. So we got to wait and see. So if they break 2001, then I feel much more confident that this is going to be 1 and 2, and then they're coming down for 3, 4, and 5. If they come and break, well, no, not even that. I mean, it would have to be breaking that. If they break above that, then it could be a diagonal going the other way. And this ABC, that was 1. This ABC, that was 2. And then they're going to go up for 3, 4, and 5 that way. So, between these two ranges, it's like no man's land. It's really hard to tell. I feel like they're going to come down, but that's just based on actually this big red candle here. Like I feel like they're actually if they do break that level again, then it looks to me like you've got 5 waves. Like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that would be 5. Then I think they'll correct up, but then I think they'll be coming right back down. So yeah, I think it's in between these two levels. Once one of them breaks, then I feel more confident on what the direction will be. But even if they do come down, it's just going to be coming down, and then we're going back up. So it's just a matter of where do you want to get in. All right, silver. So it looks to me like they're making a running flat here. Now I thought this was they were going to come up a little bit higher, like above maybe into 23.5. But if it holds the way it is, I think that's just going to be A, B, and then they'll come down for C before we head up. Now if they break that level on this chart, 23.32, the high that they set on Wednesday, if they break that again, then this isn't a running flat, and then I'll have to reevaluate. It really looks like a running flat. I mean, we got 3 waves up, and then we got this big running flat in the middle for 3 waves, and then it's kind of I think it's like a diagonal coming up here. Just really, really choppy. I thought, like I said, I thought they were going to come a little bit higher, but I'd definitely be a buyer down once they give you 5 waves and breaking that, what is that, 22, let's see, 21.9, breaking that in 5 waves, then I'd be looking for the buys up down there. So let's see. Right now there's only 3 waves. So you just got this 1, 2, 3. So it could be like they're going to come down in diagonal. Maybe that's 1, or maybe this is 1, 2, and now this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got to wait and see. We only have 3 waves. We don't have enough information to tell what the pattern will be. But yeah, I'd wait if they do break 21.9. I'd be looking to buy there. This is hard to tell exactly what's happening here, but yeah, more ways will help us tell us what this pattern is. And uranium. All right, so they've broken a lot of levels here now. Oops. So I've got 5 waves, and then, as I said in my last video, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they broke that 3rd wave. And then I said when they break that high, that could be it. Now, I didn't think that would be all the 5th wave, just based on like, here's the length of 5, and then you compare that to the length of 3, and the length, like that's just too short of a 5th wave. So, yeah, I was glad to see that they just made a correction and then went up and broke that high. So now we can remove this line. That's irrelevant. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're still in this 5th wave. And inside the 5th wave, they're telling me that there's going to be 5 waves. So this is just the first part of the 5th wave. Gave you a nice 3-wave correction. And then went up and broke it again. So this is 1, this is 2, and now we don't know what this is. I mean, they could be making an ending diagonal. Maybe that's 1, and then they'll give you a big correction for 2, and then go up for 3, 4, and 5. Or if they just pull back a little bit, actually it doesn't even look like this 3rd wave is totally done yet. It looks like you just have 1, 2, and 3 waves. So maybe this will be 4, and then they'll go back up, and that'll be a 5-wave move. I'd only be looking for buy setups, and it's going to go a lot higher because you only have a 1 and a 2. Now there's a lot of patterns that could play out, but I mean we need a 3, but that's not 3 right there. So 3 is going to be a lot higher. Then you're going to get a correction for 4, and then you're still going to go higher above that. So only be looking for buy setups, and the target should be something like in the 34 to 35 range at least, maybe even more. We got to wait and see how big this 3rd wave is and what the pattern is. But yeah, lot more up for uranium. But you do have to be careful, because when that wave, or when this wave ends up here and we got 5 waves, then we got to move this. This 5th wave will be up in this range somewhere. Then there's going to be a really big correction, because then we'll have 5 waves up. And that we'll have to look back and see exactly how big the correction will be. But yeah, there'll be a big correction eventually, but not for probably a couple of weeks left here. All right, that's the commodities. Hope it helps. Thanks for your likes and support. Have a great weekend. I'll see you in the next video.